Cumberland-Colchester.
Mr. Speaker, let's be clear. This Prime Minister has called everyone on this side of the House just now a racist. Right. This is shameful. Yeah. Shameful. That's right. And it is no thing that should happen in this House. Shameful. It's no surprise that many Canadians continue to reject his federal mandates, Mr. Speaker, and we know this is a cabinet decision, and we know that makes it this Prime Minister's personal decision to punish his political opponents. Not allowing families to reunite is deeply hurtful and is tantamount to ostracism and political vindictiveness. What's next to go for those who won't conform? Those he's described as taking up space, which rights will he trample on next?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, from the beginning of this pandemic, we made a very straightforward promise to Canadians that we would have their backs and that we would follow the science to keep them safe. That is exactly what we've done. The Conservative Party has been all over the place, shouting that we needed to deliver vaccines faster and then ignoring the need for vaccines once they arrive. They continue to want to wish this pandemic away, but magical thinking doesn't save lives in Canada, doesn't restore small businesses, doesn't grow our economy and get people back to work. That's why we continue to follow science. We continue to keep Canadians safe.
The Honourable Member for Cumberland-Colchester.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister talks about science. Let's talk about what the truth is. Imagine that we're living in a country that singles out 15% of its population for special treatment. That means you mock their personal decisions, you call them names, and you tell them they're taking up space. Further, imagine, Mr. Speaker, if you will, that their freedom to move around this very large country is also taken away. Why are they being singled out, Mr. Speaker? Because they made a personal health decision. Should other world leaders call out this Prime Minister for the vindictive behavior? You bet they should. This is petty, it's petulant, and this behavior must stop. On which date will Canada return to normal?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that question from the Honourable Member might be a little more convincing if the member from Cumberland-Colchester hadn't just said a few weeks ago in this House that the vaccine mandates had an important purpose of keeping Canadians safe. So he agreed that we had to have them in place while the pandemic was going on. But, Mr. Speaker, as all Canadians know, this pandemic has not yet ended. Canadians are still dying in larger numbers than they did previously during the pandemic, and we need to continue to do what is necessary to keep them safe. And Mr. Speaker, that's exactly what this government will continue to do.